So I have this life, and I have this job, but I found out that just being a slob was a thing I knew. So drive on through.
Hey everybody, this is BadBrad, and I am going to show you my latest theme I like to call Nexus Life. And before we get started, I'll show you the lock screen that I've got attached to this. I'll be doing a tutorial for this coming up in the next little bit. We'll start off by getting the rest of the screen together and the theme together first, and then I'll do the lock screen. So just to go over it, there's a little custom locker here, a little bit of the theme of the Nexus background going on, a few things for the date and the time and battery, calls and text messages. So you just slide that across, and then we've got our Nexus 4 text on the right. We've got some Android characters. I'm using the MIUI X4 icon set, which is fantastic. There's so many options for that. I've got a couple of things that I'm using for just text links here using UCCW, Zuper widget on the bottom, and the SMPL white icons for the bottom, which are also fantastic icons, so recommended there. We've got a few different screens. I've got one for tools, I've got one for news, kind of a social media kind of thing. I'm also using a calendar widget on the last screen here, and on the far right side I like to use there's also the play screen, and then on the far side I like to use the calendar or calculator. So if you like to do those, you can definitely set them up. I've got some basic wallpapers as well that are just plain, so you can actually use those to customize your phone however you like. This is a Nexus 4, of course, but I'm sure it will work on other screens. I've had people say it works on the Samsung Galaxy S2 and 3. So you can give it a shot, and we'll get started. So we've got the Nexus Life by BadBrad. If you like my video, by all means give me the thumbs up, subscribe to my video, and I appreciate your comments and your input. Okay, we're going to get started here. The first thing that you're going to need to do is make sure you have installed all of the widgets, all of the apps that I've suggested in my list. They should be available on my color screen, but for now, the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to copy all of the files over to our phone. Okay, so all you do, you've got to use a PC for this, I believe. I'm not a Mac user, so you're going to have to plug in your phone. If you have a Mac, then you're going to have to figure out how to copy the files over onto your phone, but it's pretty straightforward. All you have to do is locate all of the files that I've included in my zip file. The link is in my my list in YouTube and on my color screen. Download all of those, and then just select all of the files. You don't need this one. You don't need this one. This is just a few written instructions, but all you do is you just take these, you drag them right onto the internal storage and let them go. You might have some things pre-installed already that are in here. You can just say overwrite, and then it will overwrite all the files on there. Okay, once that's done, then you're going to need to activate Nova Launcher. So once Nova has been installed and you click on your home button, and I apologize that thing is coming up. I've been trying to get rid of it for ages. I can't figure it out. Someone was trying to help me on YouTube, but I couldn't do it. So if anyone knows how to get rid of that permissions thing, let me know specifically how to do it. So once you click on your home button, you're going to get prompted for the launcher that you can use. By default, you just have the regular launcher. We're going to use Nova for this. I am experimenting with Lightning Launcher, but haven't gotten totally into that one yet. So you click on Nova Launcher and then just say always, and it's going to load a basic screen. It's probably not going to look exactly like this. The reason mine looks like this is that I've already got some things restored. So if yours looks different than this to start with, that's okay. All you need to do is double tap on the screen here, okay? Anywhere on a blank area, double tap on it. And then you'll notice this thing here, it says open recent app, swipe away other launchers. So if you want to click down on here, you can just swipe this one away. Any other things that are open, you can just swipe and get rid of them all. And we'll leave, I've got AirDroid open here just to do my tutorial. So, okay, so back to the home screen. Once we double tap on the screen, now we don't have that error message here anymore. And we just scroll down and we go to backup and import. So you click on backup and import, and then you click on restore, and you have the option to select all of the different backups that have been done. The one that I have included, if you haven't used Nova before, you may not have any backups. You might just have one that says Nexus Life. So you just click on that, and it says this will replace your current configuration. You say OK, and it will now load everything for you. Okay, so now we're going to start to restore our icons or our widgets. The MIUI icons here, you guys can drop those in after the fact. They're pretty easy. Same thing with these. You can go ahead and use the bottom to implement the icons for the white space. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to create our wallpapers using multi-live wallpaper. So all we have to do that is just hold our finger down on the screen here and wait till it comes up. We click on wallpapers, and then we select live wallpapers. Once that comes up, you select multi-picture live wallpaper. Now I've got this preset in mind that it's wanting to restore the current settings that I have, but I want you to click on settings down here. Once that comes up, you have the ability now to set all of the screens for your phone. Okay, so there are a few different options for you depending on how many screens you want to have. I believe I currently have 6 screens on mine, and you're going to have to just scroll down a little bit and then click on this add individual settings for specified screens. So you can go ahead and just click that a couple times until you've got the pages set up the way you want. And you can also choose to use common settings if you want to. Let's say that you want to use one of the screens that I've provided a wallpaper for that is what I call like a blank one, which is just really a Nexus kind of sparkle grid effect. You could use that as your common settings if you want to, and that way you don't have to create them for every single screen. But if we click on screen number 1, the one that I'm using is Nexus Life blank. So if you want to change that, all you have to do is just click here, and then you can select single picture, and then you're going to come up with your different images. You click on themes, and then you can choose the one that you want. So the one that we want is this bottom one. It's just the blank one. So we select that, and now we've got that one. Okay, so then you can just hit the back arrow, and you can go ahead and just continue to select the screen that you want to put into the positions that you want. So again, we click on that, then we click here. This one is the social. So we click again on single picture, and we go over to themes, and the social one is the little coffee cup. We again click back, and you would just go through each one of them and select. This one is Nexus Life main. That's one for the main screen. Select picture source, apply it, go back, continue through each one of these. The next one is Nexus Life utilities or tools. Go back. For number 5, it's play. Go back. And then for number 6, I again am using the blank one, okay, because that's where I have my calculator, and on the very first screen I'm using it for my calendar widget. Okay, so once that is set up, then you can just select Set Wallpaper. Once you do that, now all of your wallpapers will be in place. So if I scroll to the left, I've got my utilities there, I've got my play, I've got my space for my calculator, etc. Okay, so now we're ready to just restore all our widgets, which should be pretty straightforward. We'll start off on the main screen here. We'll tap up at the top. This is going to be Super Widget. And what we're looking for is Nexus Life. And I've got a lot of these here, so you may not have as many as I do, but it does get to be a little bit of work just finding them. So we'll keep going, keep going, keep going. Come on. Okay, that is not the one. Nexus Life. Here we are. Okay, Nexus Life date. Okay, so we just click on that, and now it drops it in. The one thing that you will find with Super Widget, I say this in all my tutorials, is that for some reason it doesn't always restore the size. So what you have to do is just tap it again, bring it up, and then just hit the back arrow again. And what it will do is it will auto resize it to fit. Okay? And that just makes it look better. Alright, now we're going to do this one here. And this one is also a Super Widget. And this is just the different text that we're using for the sides. So you could literally change the words to whatever you want. If you don't want it to say, you know, Nexus 4, if you use just a Galaxy Nexus, you could make it say Galaxy Nexus, or you could make it just say Nexus, or you could make it say anything you want. It doesn't have to be what I've called them, and that's one of the beautiful things about using Super Widget, is it's customizable. It's not part of the wallpaper. Okay, so we'll keep scrolling down here. So now we're looking for Nexus Life Home, Nexus 4. So if I select that, it again is very, very teeny. You can't really see it. So we'll just click again there, and then we'll click back again, and it resizes to fit. Okay, so now if you wanted to change the text for this, all you have to do is just tap it again. When it comes up, click on Layout. Okay, and then you're going to see that there's the text here. You click on Text, and then if you scroll down, you can say Edit Text Manually. You click on that, and then right at the very top here, you can just click up there and then go ahead and type whatever you want, and it will just change it for you. Okay, and then after you do that, you just click on the checkbox and you're good to go. But I'm going to leave it the way I have it, and you guys can play as you will. Okay, so the next one that we're going to do is we're going to do the one right in the middle here, and this one is optional, but I like it because it's really handy, and I use Desktop Visualizer to make a large shaped icon that's invisible for voice commands. So it uses Google Now to be able to bring up the voice search very quickly. So all we have to do, tap to restore the widget. It's going to bring up a Desktop Visualizer. We tap it again, and now it's going to come up with Select Icon. Okay, now we don't want to use an icon, we want it to be invisible. So what we do is we click on Others, and then we scroll down, and you will again have different icons possibly than I have, but the one that we want to install is Simple Text. Simple Text is really handy because you can actually make things so they don't have any text. They just are invisible. So I've included the transparent icon in my files for you, and really you're just looking for this blank screen. Okay, you could make your own if you needed to, but you just tap on that, and when it comes up, you click up here in the three dots and you just say Save Icon. All right, and you can play with this. If you don't have one, you can just make your own, and you really just don't put any text in it and save it. So we say save icon. So now that's stored in there. We select action, and we're going to launch an application. We click on launch application, and then we scroll all the way to the very bottom to V, and we select voice search. Okay, now we don't want any text or anything on there, so we just hit clear. And if we scroll down, by default it's going to want to make the highlight when you select it orange. We don't want it to do anything. If you do, feel free to leave a color on there. I select none, and then that just allows it to not have any color on there at all. We just click on OK now, and now we've restored that widget. So now if I click on the little Emperor Android guy who's glowing and being worshipped by the other guys, then it will just bring up Google Now, and you can see it's reading what I'm saying. Bring up. Okay, so we'll go back. So that's gone. Okay, now the next one, and these little ones here are UCCW widgets. These ones are customized in order to be able to make just text icons. You certainly don't have to have the text icons there if you don't want to. You could just use regular icons, and you could delete these widgets off there just by holding down on it and selecting remove. But I like the idea of having it with the text just to make it a little bit different. So what we do is we select UCCW, and by default it's going to just pop up. We scroll down to Nexus Life, and the one that I'm using here is Chrome. You could call it browser, you could call it Dolphin, you could call it whatever browser you like. I'm using Chrome, so I call it Chrome. Now once that comes up, you just tap it and it will fill that in for you. Now these are all editable, so if you did want to change the name of that, again you just tap back on that. Oops, I'm going to show you a little something here. Right now UCCW is active. Okay, it is allowing this to launch Chrome. I don't want it to launch Chrome, so what you have to actually do is launch the UCCW widget first. Okay, you scroll down and you click on UCCW right here. That's going to bring up the app. Okay, you click up here on, tap up there, and when UCCW just updated, so this is a little bit different now, but where it says lock widgets hotspot mode, we want to just tap that and say off. So what that does is it takes away the clickability of the hotspot to go to Chrome. Okay, so now if I tap on that, it will bring up UCCW for editing this widget. Okay, so now I have the ability to be able to modify the text, modify the details of this. If I click on background, it gives me the ability to change the hotspot, to change the background, to change the static text. So if you wanted to change the static text on that to something else, you can just click on it, and then you can scroll to the right, and where it says text, you can click on that, and now you can type whatever you want. Okay, and you can also, if you go back and you select hotspot, you can select this button here. Currently it's at Chrome. You can click on hotspot, and then where it says app, you tap on that, and it just brings up your whole list of apps. So you could go and select whichever browser you want, or if you wanted to create a custom one for a different app of some kind, Facebook, whatever, you can go ahead and do that. Okay, so that gives you a little bit of help on that. I always provide the root files for my UCCW files. I don't provide uzips because I think a lot of people want to customize them, and sometimes I think with the uzips you can't customize them. So this gives you a little bit more control over your UCCW. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and just hit back, and I'm going to just go and restore all of these things and whip through them really quickly for all of the screens. Okay, so that way you can just wait a second and you'll see it. Okay, so now we've got all of our icons restored. Now, once those are all launched in there and we've set them up, we can go ahead and we can now activate hotspots again with UCCW. So if you just click on any one of your text links, and then we go back and we select the three dots up here, then we hit lock widgets hotspot mode, and then we turn it on. Okay, so now what that allows us to do is if we go ahead and we select our Chrome browser, it opens up. Okay, so all of your active items are there. Camera brings up shot control. I use the shot control app. Okay, so those are all done. Now we're going to restore the bottom widget, and this again is a Zooper widget. So we tap on that, it brings up Zooper widget, we scroll down, we're looking for Nexus Life main, I believe it's called. Come on, Nexus Life play. I wish these would alphabeticize themselves, but for some reason they don't seem to, and I'm probably missing out on something that does that. But okay, Nexus Life, where are you? It's the locker screen. Nexus Life date. Nexus Life home widget. That's what we want. Nexus Life home widget. Tap on that. And again, it's not sized to the right size, so we tap it again, we hit back, and it resizes. Okay, so we're good to go. So our main screen now is all done. Like I said, you can go ahead and add in the apps that you like in here. By default in Nova, you should have the preset for the MIUI icons. If you don't, all you do is just double tap on your screen. When it brings up your Nova settings, you just click on look and feel, and the icon theme here is set to MIUI X4 Theme Pro. Okay, so after you do that, you should be good to go, and it's probably set up by default anyways, but I just wanted to show you where that setting is. So if you do want to change these to a different icon set, then by all means go ahead and do it. I think the MIUI ones work quite well. The icons down here, if you're not familiar with Nova and you want a little bit of input on how to change these, it's quite easy to do. By default, your icons are going to be set up as whichever ones were part of the MIUI set. But if you hold your finger down on the icon, it pops up with a little thing that says edit. Okay? Once that comes up, you click here, and then you can select icon pack. Okay, and that's how you will change for the SMPL icons. You select icon pack, you go down to simple white. That thing keeps popping up, I apologize. You select simple white, and they're a little bit difficult to see on here, but you scroll down until you find the one that you want. Actually, what I usually do is if you go back, you can just hit cancel. I go over to the screen that is the blank one and then do it. It's easier to see. So you hold down, edit, tap on the icon, select icon pack, scroll down to simple white, and then on this background, because it's simpler, you can see them better. So it does take a bit of time to go through these. I'm not going to do every one of them for you because believe me, I pulled my hair out trying to find an icon that I've seen 100 times in the list, but they have a massive list of icons here and they've done a heck of a job with them. So I really encourage you to support this icon creator because he's really done a great job making these. He's very responsive too. If you ever have an icon that you need, you can email him and he'll make them for you really fast. So he's constantly updating them and doing that. So once you find the icon that you want, you just tap on it and it will come back, and then you've got the ability to just say okay. All right. And once those are all set up the way you want, you can go ahead and put whichever ones you want. I just use the Play Store, the phone, app drawer, email, and my text message. Okay, so that now is pretty much all we need to do for the home screen, and the other screens are very similar. So the only ones that I'm going to quickly go and get all of these top ones done because they're just the same, so I'll speed it up so you don't have to wait for that. We tap on that to get the Super widget, scroll down, okay, so those are all now set up. We've got everything pretty much looking good here. There are a few widgets that I like to use on the bottom of my screen. This one for tools, I use Widgetzoid. You could use power toggles if you like. I just like the look of Widgetzoid a little bit more. We tap on that. I've supplied the one that I use for Widgetzoid. If you hit profiles, it will come up, and there's one called Nexus Life Toggle. You can go ahead, click on that, select Load All. It'll bring this up. You can customize these very easily just by going to toggles. You can change colors, do all the things you want, play with it a little bit. You tap on Apply, and that now loads it in there, so you've got the ability to go ahead and change all those on the fly. The one that I'm using on Play is the power toggles widget for the music, and I unfortunately have not saved this one, so you will have to go in and just customize that a little bit. You can believe, yeah, I haven't backed that one up, I apologize. I'll try and include that in the file for you, but it is pretty easy to go ahead and change these. If you click on Add Toggle at the bottom, it brings up all these different ones here. You scroll down to Multimedia, you click on Play Pause, you do it again. Okay, so now it says there's too many on there, so we can remove these ones that we don't want. If we just hold on that, and it says right here, tap on it and then hit remove. Okay, so any of these ones you don't want, tap on it, remove, tap on it, remove, tap on it, remove, tap on it, remove, keep going. Get rid of all those, and then we can hit add toggle again, go down to add next track, hit previous track, and hit music volume. Okay, the one thing you'll notice is that they're not in the right position, so if you tap on them, you can slide this little thing here and it moves it, so now they're in the right spot. Okay, so we've got the left and all the rest of it. Okay, so now again, you might want to play with the color on it. I won't go through that with you right now, but you can go ahead and change the style and the transparency and everything else. So I'll just hit done, and this one, it's left a big black bar on there. You don't want that in there. Take out the background of it, and you can remove the transparency on that however you like. Okay, so fiddle with that a little bit, get it looking the way you want, and it should be good to go. The other one that we want to set up is for weather, and I use it on the news page, and I like to use Eye in the Sky. It's an excellent weather app. So again, you can customize things. You can choose which ones you want. I'm using Climacon's dark, and pretty much just say OK, and it sets it up in here. One other thing I should mention to you guys is there is a possibility that you might not have as many icons on your screen as you want, and you might want to put your weather up here to take up a larger space of your area so that the icons can be a little bit bigger. Because if you hold down on this, you can hit resize, and if you were to resize this, the icons actually are bigger. So this space, I've set this up in a good grid, so these, if you did want to put this up here, I have supplied a blank template without the bar in there. So you could play with that, or if you know how to use an image editor of any kind, I'm sure you could open this up in Paint practically and remove that line if you wanted to have one of these where you have more space being used for the widget. Okay, but I am using it this way, and that is that. Now, the other thing that is a real handy little thing that a lot of times people like is you want to have a folder that you can use to help give you a little bit more options for your other apps that you're using. So on my home screen, I use a lot of different camera apps. So if I tap on the little icon here, I've set up a folder to allow me to pick my different kind of cameras, my galleries, Gmail, all these different things that I'm using. So you can go ahead and do that very simply just by creating a folder of apps. And if I just go in and hold that and go apps, I can go ahead and select a few different apps and select multiple, whichever ones you want. Let's say that I've got a few here and I hit add. So I can, once those are added, I can drag them on top of each other, make a little folder. Okay, so now I have a folder full of apps, and it will just fly out and do what we want. But the thing that we need to do is we need to make it invisible. So very similar to the way that we applied the desktop visualizer thing here and use simple text to make it invisible, we can do the same thing on a folder. So what I usually do is I move it into position, and once you've put it into the right spot that you want, and you might even have, I don't know exactly how it will work once once you restore it. You may already have a folder that's saying it's there like mine was, but if you don't, then just create your folder, put it onto this little spot. It should fit right in the right spot. Hold your finger down on the folder, and when it comes up with edit, we're going to select this here, and we're going to scroll down to icon pack and scroll down to simple text, just like we did before. And we scroll down to the one that is the blank one here. And again, yours might be in a different position than mine. Select that one, click up here, save icon, say OK, and now it's gone. Okay, so if we click on that now, it brings out the icons, and now I've got my Amazon here. For some reason that showed up. I can just drag it over it and you'll see a little circle show up, and I let it go. Once that's in there, it just becomes invisible, and now you can see there's the Amazon app as well. Okay, so pretty straightforward for that, and you can do that on the other ones as well, your other screens, like on tools here. I've got it set up with a few different apps there too. Okay, so you can go ahead and choose to use those as many as you want for games and things like that on Play. On the news page, I don't have one because I have enough apps here for what I need. Okay, so that covers all of our main screens. The only other thing I'm going to show you is the far right screen. I've got a calculator widget, and I've provided a link to it, and this is like calculator 10 themes or something they call it. I use the motive white. You can use my settings. The button size is 7. The screen size is 6 plus, you know, whatever they show you the screen there. Drag it across, and then I just hit accept. And it brings up the calculator, so you can go ahead and add till your heart's content, or divide. Okay, that is screen number 1, far right side. Far left side, I'm using a really great little calendar widget called Neat Calendar. And I really enjoy this one. It's simple, it works quite well, and all you really have to do is click on it and then just hit add widget. You can set up which calendars you want, so if you select these, it'll show you which ones you have for your options. Just hit add widget, and once it loads, the thing I like about this one is it gives you a really good flow with how it rolls up and down. So, okay. That is it. We've got it done, guys. We've got our Nexus Life theme. We are looking good, very Nexus-like. We got all the colors happening. You guys can play with it. If you are stuck and you don't know what you're doing, or you're having trouble, or whatever it may be, by all means, give me a post on mycolorscreen.com/BadBrad, or give me a comment on YouTube. Like I've said before, I appreciate all of your comments. I appreciate your thumbs up if you can. Give me that on YouTube. Follow me on YouTube if you'd like to as well. But this is BadBrad checking out Nexus 4 Nexus Life. Have a great day.